One of my students just got another building, two actually beautiful centers side by side from the same owner. This is a property he bought for about $2.6 million that's worth, as is the way, as it sits right now, about $5 million, maybe 5.5. And once he puts some money into it, this could be a legacy property. Rich is one of my students, made $150,000 on his first piece of land, $250 on the next one roughly, and then about $800,000 on the next. And actually, this is the first part of his property. That he got all that, and now we're popping into this corner. Hey, all right, good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
So this is Rich. Say one of my earliest students, and also one of my most successful. Let's get him mic'd up. We'll take a walk. So anyways, yeah, go ahead.
So what I'm doing right now is just trying to clean up. Beforehand, like this was all just, no one was taking care of all the landscaping. So I cut all the landscaping back, and especially the trees over there, they're blocking all the signs of the tenants. So just trying to like make the letter sign boxes as visible as possible. Cool. And then I had someone come over here. We brushed out we got rid of all the junk that was down here. We're gonna put a layer of weed killer, or the mat,
weed
and
mat.
then put some new shrubs down here and new black mulch.
Yep. So I'll tell you something else that's kind of cool. So let's take a look at a couple of things here. Just a couple of observations. So see here on these steps are way too shallow, right? And so these should be like 7.5 inch. There should be like 3 steps. Our total with 4. We got 22, so divided by 7.5 should be 3 steps. But take a look here. Now look over here. These ones you can see. These ones are what you would be, are more to code, right? So just little things like this, that they should be equal. They should all be about 7. See that 7.5, good, then that. So it throws people off. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been on the steps that are different?
Yeah, it's kind of like
so it's kind of like, then it's like, oh, right. Shit, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or coming down the other way, it's like little step, then it's like, whoa. So things like that. I'd pour concrete if it comes down to it when you do it. But so these are just little things, and we can talk about walking through here.
Yeah.
What color did you decide you're going to paint this place?
It's going to be like a tan. It's over there on the edge. I have like some samples over there on the ground.
The metal you're going to paint like a tan?
Yeah, so all the boardwalk's going to be like a neutral tan, and then it's going to be a slightly, on the stucco, it's going to be like still like a little bit lighter white.
I'll show you something. I don't know if I do the white, to be quite honest, but what I like to do on this stuff is, and it's looking better all the time, just the more I keep doing it. You might want to just consider paint the roof tan and then take the trim and match the bronze on the windows.
Okay.
Looks pretty sharp. I'll show you. I just painted a center yesterday.
All right, bronze? Okay.
Yeah, it just kind of ties them together, and it's right.
Okay.
And then you can paint your pole and your signage the same to match the trim.
Okay.
And it just makes everything kind of pop. I'll show you what I got. But like he said, even painting the around the sign, see up there? I don't even know if that's a viable sign still. But, you paint around that, maybe split the cost with your tenants to replace the plastic, just to make that sign look brand new.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference. But man, really looks good. He's got these extra light posts and things. All this stuff is really, really is good. The more light, the better. These are nice decorative lights that he's got here.
Yeah, I was going to think about just replacing them and just putting spotlights.
Yeah, I would do these wall packs. They got this, the LED wall packs are like this, and they're kind of low profile. I can show you some we're just replacing on another center that I got as well. Everything he's doing is right. When you come in, you want to demonstrate to the people that are already here that you might be raising rents on, that I'm a landlord that's proactive. I'm going to fix this place up, make it look better. And the quicker you give it a paint job, and maybe black the lot and restripe it, makes everything look brand new. It's like framing a picture, and it doesn't matter that you didn't do anything inside. It just looks better. Mm-hmm. And you know that, and I know you're about to apply that. But the steps are something I might consider just pour concrete steps. Make them right. they look rough. I don't know if I'd replace them with the same, but certainly you can see, you got like a 4-inch step up on each one of these, 4 to 4.5, it looks like. And then over here, that's more closer to code. But again, even there a little bit.
So they need to be 7 inches.
About 7.25, like 7.75.
Okay.
And then you just got to do the math, and you got to do what you got to do to get there. And even if you got to.
And would you do like a metal handrail then with the concrete, or just keep it wood?
You could, and since you're doing the concrete, we have what we call an embed. And if you do an embed on these, they have embeds that are about the size of this tape. They have a single, looks like a big fat nail head, like a railroad spike coming down. When you get a handrail, especially on these, better off to go for like a 6-inch that's got 2 to 4. Much, much more stable. Otherwise, somebody hits it hard, then it cracks the slab below if there's not enough concrete in it. So, but yeah, and it's friendlier. Like this here, just here on that point that he's talking about, what we call this here, we call this a purse catcher. It's not a good thing because an old lady comes up here and she's got a purse and she's stepping in. The purse, kind of comes to the outside, and then up here, takes her back down the steps. So something like this, you want to just cut this off flush. This is terrible anyway.
Yeah.
See, I'd replace it. And maybe just, since you're pouring this, they can pour this new too. And then they could get the steps exactly right, and they could ramp the rest right here.
Okay.
And so you could do that here. You can do that on the other one. Now, you can see they have this here, if you're going to do it, maybe just do them all. But like on this here, the same thing. This is actually not terrible. This can still be a little bit of a catch. But generally what we do is we come out and we kind of do a half circle that comes down like this. So, but this is fine. Or it can be just, a big radius so that when they go to grab it, it doesn't catch the purse. That's the main thing. So,
and then re-pour that.
Again, these steps are all different everywhere. The steps he's pointing to look a lot like these, just like that. They're shallow. So I'm wondering why they didn't pour concrete in the beginning. It makes me think there might be some sewer cleanouts and stuff like that are under the deck. So you can't just cover it up. You know what I mean? So, but it's okay. It looks good. Maybe this lattice could be replaced with powder-coated steel mesh. You know what I mean? Then you never have to worry about it again. So I don't know. I don't want to give you too much to think about working-wise. Just right now, the main thing is get it filled, get the cash flow. And he got it so cheap that, this thing's going to cash flow very, very quickly. And it already does on day one. In fact, when Rich reached back to me and was first getting this, he said, man, he goes, how nice to have an appraisal come out over and above what you're purchasing it for.
Yeah.
So,
it's also helpful because I got money back from the bank to do the improvements. So.
Yeah, he put a significant amount. He rolled basically the $1 million plus that he made on the last 2 deals into the purchase of this, and he's got a beautiful property next door that came with it. So this is I'm telling you what, this is a major grand slam, right? It's a major grand slam. When he first bought it, he sounded a little bit equivocating whether he was going to keep it. I'm saying, hey, I'll take it over. I'll buy it from you. So, but he's doing the right thing. He's making it happen for himself, and that's the smartest thing you can do, because this is a really good one. This is a really good one.
If you want, I could take you down to this.
We'll just go anywhere you want, Rich. Oh man, look at that.
Yeah, it's a step I just tripped over it. Yeah.
I just caught that right there. So shit like that, you definitely want to fix.
Do you know of any, are there any of these boards that stand out that you would just replace, or?
I would fix everything,
Besides using screws to screw them in, would you just replace the boards?
I would. But you can, sometimes what you can do, when you got a board like this, something like this, in all honesty, you can just pick it up, turn it over, and put the high side down, and then screw everything down, and it'll be flat again. It's warping up. So if it's warping up, just pop it, turn it over, and that way the wood's consistent with the rest of it instead of a piece of redwood standing out or whatever.
Okay.
But because you're going to end up painting this anyways. But
yeah, I just wasn't sure which boards to replace, what needs to be replaced, or
yeah. In all honesty, when I put down decking like this, I use concealed nails. And so what happens is we nail this thing with, it's kind of like a finished nail, but with a big head on it. Not as big as this. But what happens is we come down and we shoot it this way. It's like just below this radius, puts it in. Below the radius, puts it in. That way it's clean and smooth on top. The reason is whenever you get a nail that breaks the surface, and it'll happen on siding and everything else, you really, when you're nailing on siding, like that's about how you want your nail. About like that. Yeah, about like that. You don't want it to break the surface, but especially on decking, what happens is when they pound it in or they sink a screw too deep, they're breaking all the fiber of the wood and they're making a little puddle that's going to fill with water, and then that's going to be the beginning of the rot. So, but it's already done. That's how this whole thing is. So the next best thing is, like I say, just fix it, paint it, seal it. You know what I mean? If you got the nails that are coming out from just heat and moving, pull them out and replace it with a screw.
Okay.
A deck screw that won't rust, obviously. All right. So now this is a restaurant that is gone or went out of business. Or
I have a bar owner that wants to rent the space.
Wow. Yeah, this is a really nice spot. Look at this. This is pretty. It's already got all the improvements, got the lighting. I could see this being a billiards place. You could load this with pool tables, nice bar. It's already got a stage. Yeah, this is really, really nice. Yeah. You even got a little, salad bar.
Yeah,
what could end up being a DJ.
It's like, that's where they had, like your hot and ready if you wanted just like a tip, like you wanted to serve food. That was it called? Like, take us what you want.
They call it a steam table, but cafeteria style, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is perfect, man. Like I say, a bar could move right in here, and all they'd have to do is.
Yeah, the bar that's like 2 streets down that is interested in renting that out. He might stop by here in a few minutes to come check it out.
Very cool. Yeah.
But this is a big space. If you come over here, you can see how big the kitchen area is.
Yeah, it's got a nice kitchen. I can see from here. Yeah, all these improvements are big. Costs a lot of money to install a hood this size. This is enormous. Yeah, this is an enormous.
So the story behind this is when I closed, the person that was selling me the property didn't tell me that this person was behind on rent.
Right.
So I just showed up and they were taking down their sign. I was like, hey, what are you guys doing? I was like, oh, we're moving all our stuff out. I was like, okay. So I could have either delayed the closing and had them kick them out, or I would kick them out, which all it was like, hey, you can take this or not. And when I showed up, they were trying to take all this equipment out when I showed up. And so it's a little, just a little bit of an altercation with them about trying to take things that they weren't authorized to take.
Yeah. And when that happens, when you got that, you don't have to give them shit. They owe you money. They owe you money. Now, there are some exceptions to it. Like it was probably here. The dishwashers are generally a piece of leased equipment. So they don't own it anyways. A company comes in there, they give you a dishwasher and they service it. They give you the soap and the whatever, all this stuff for it. So you let them have that because that's not theirs anyways.
Yeah.
But, if they owe you money, the stove's yours and, that's a decent gas stove. Just was like just another, I guess, not sure what this big steam table, I guess. It's interesting. Looks like it holds a lot of hot waters. But yeah, this is all great stuff. All this is relevant to have in the kitchen. And, ideally the compressor for this thing works.
I just turned it off, but it works. Yeah, it's walk-in.
Yeah.
I can turn it on if you want.
No. Oh, it's cool in here already, by the way.
Yeah, it works. I was like, I don't want to spend the electricity on it if no one was using it.
Boy, that's nice. Yeah. No, this is a great asset to have already within the building. And then they got a cage lockup. Usually this is for liquor, by the way. Yeah. This is what they put their liquor that's in stoves. So nobody's, are taking stuff. Or anything valuable, because I'll tell you, when it comes to restaurants and bars, I really appreciate the people that run those type of businesses, because it's a hard business. Everybody's a thief, or can be. Everybody's a potential thief, from the bartender to everybody in there. Everybody wants to eat, and everybody in there wants to drink.
And then they spent some good money on the
You want to learn how to make millions of dollars in real estate? I've made tens of millions over my lifetime, and I'm showing people how to do it. Get in my free webinar. I have it every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. Go to the link below, FlipAnythingUSA.com/webinar. Sign up for it. You can talk to me face to face if you want. Don't waste any time. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You don't want to miss my channel. I've been doing it for years.